Hey there YouTube, it's Michael Gallacher here, the Media Preacher, back with a new video. And in this video I want to do something that's a little bit different to anything I've done in the past. Effectively, I've got my first guitar here. This is effectively a Stratocaster copy. It's a Chinese copy by a company called Sunn Mustang. I got this guitar probably for Christmas, either 1992 or 1993, and I've got a real Stratocaster. I had that since I was 21, and so this guitar kind of really went into storage. I think I had it on my bedroom wall for a while when I lived at home. But effectively I've kept the guitar more for sentimental reasons, but I'm doing some recording at the minute, and I thought it'd be really cool to try and use the guitar because it's not a high-end guitar, but it's got a lot of sentimental value, and I just wanted it to be on one of my recordings really. But when I went to plug the guitar up, unfortunately I put it through this little Vox amp and I got absolutely no sound from it whatsoever. I mean, I'm out of tune at the minute, but just nothing at all, just dead as a doorknob. It doesn't matter what pickups selector I'm in, it's not good. There's just absolutely nothing coming out of the electrics of this thing. And I've checked the cable's fine, the amp's fine, so the problem must lie with the guitar and the pickups. So what I'm going to try and do in this video is to get this guitar working so that I can use it on one of my recordings in due course. Whether I'm going to be successful or not is a different kettle of fish altogether, but I'm going to give it a best go. So I've got here a little string changer tool that I use. The plan is to slacken off the strings and then to open up, to take them off obviously, and then to open up the guitar plate here and go through it with some spray cleaner and see if there's anything that looks obviously wrong about it. And if there is, then I guess try and fix it. So I'm going to take it over to my workstation and see how far I get. So wish me luck. So I'm going to start now by just slackening the strings of the guitar. They're quite well on actually. I've really put these guitar strings on pretty well. These little gadgets that you can get on Amazon are fantastic for changing your strings. You can do it so quickly. So much easier than sitting and having to turn it yourself. I'm probably going to cut this part of the video in a second and then go over to the workbench to show you sort of how much success I'm actually having with getting the guitar cleaned up. And when I get these strings off, I'm probably going to clean up the guitar fretboard and things because it has been in storage for a lot of years and it's showing really, frankly, it's showing its age. But yeah, so I've unslackened there the strings, and I've got this little cutter tool and I can just cut each string off. And then when I take it over, hopefully I can just pull the strings off relatively easily. I haven't got a black plate on this guitar anymore. I'm not sure what happened to it. I think I took it off years ago. Right, so over to the thing and let's see if we can get these electronics working again. Right, so here we are. I've got the strings off the guitar. I've sort of cleaned the neck board up a little bit. Now I'm going to try and I've taken the volume and tone controls off. They are looking really yellow. That was their original colour. And now they're looking like this, so they're not looking as white as they used to look. This is not in great condition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take all of the screws out that are in the guitar and see if I can't give the electrics in this thing a bit of a spray. See if we can't get it working. So the screws have all come off. Some of the screws have gotten quite rusty over the years. I guess because they've been in the attic and sheds and garages and just places of storage. They're not in the best shape, the screws, but they have all come off. And so I think I can now take the plate off. And what I'm going to try and do is spray all the contacts with some contact cleaner, because I think that these contacts around here are probably quite dirty and could do with a bit of a spray. I'm also going to clean just generally around the area. So I'm going to start that first and then I'll come back. So here we are back again. I've got this Serviso switched cleaning lubricant. So hopefully this will clean, if I give everything a good spray, it will clean all of the contacts inside of here and get it working properly again. Fingers crossed. Well, one of the controls has come out there. So let's push that back. Okay. So I'm going to give this all a good spray. And see if we can't get it working. I'm hoping When I plug this back up, it's going to be good as new. Or it's going to have to go to a professional guitar tech. I don't know yet. Right, so I've just sprayed all of the switches with the lubricant stroke cleaner. And now I'm twiggling, and I can feel the lubricant in there because they're twiddling far freer than they were before, which is a good thing. And hopefully this will bring it back to life. It's not very scientific. This is certainly not an instructional video on how to repair your broken guitar, because I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. But I'm just giving it a go because I'd love to use this guitar again, and at the minute it's just not working. So I've had it all open. I'm now going to put the screws back in it, put the controls back on it, and restring it and see if it works. Fingers crossed. Right, so the guitar is back together. I've put the volume, the two-tone control knobs back on, put all of the screws back into it. I might just brisk them up in a second, but I've got these 10-gauge strings, slightly heavier strings than I'd normally use, but they're just some cheap ones. I don't want to waste good strings because this, frankly, probably won't work. But I'm going to give it a go. So I've got my low E string, and I'm going to string it up, put some strings back on the guitar, and then we'll go back over to the music room. And we'll see if it works. Wish me luck. Right, now, so I put one of the strings on, but it strikes me, as I said earlier, because of the age of it and where it's been, this guitar is not in the best condition, and a lot of the screws and things are a little bit rusty. So I've got a little trick to get rid of rust on metal. Let's take a piece of tin foil like this, dab it in water, and then rub it on the rusty item. And you'll find that it starts to pick up the rust, and it brings the screws, so they're going black, it's bringing it off, and it brings the screws nicely back to life. So I'm hoping if I do this to all the screws, my screws will all go back to being a nice silver colour as opposed to being that horrible rusty colour that they are at the moment. So I'm going to do that now on every screw and see if I can bring a bit of life back to the screws as well. Because I haven't, ideally I just have some replacement screws, but they're sort of a funny size. I don't have any replacements, to be honest with you, for this size screw. So I'm having to try and bring the ones that I've got back to life because I can't risk putting screws on it that frankly aren't quite the right size. Won't be perfect, but it'll be loads better hopefully than it was when I started out. So again, wish me luck. This might all be completely in vain. If you've got a nice Stratocaster, I wouldn't really recommend doing this. This is more just for if you're messing around on an old guitar like I am now. Unless, of course, you really know what you're doing, and then you'll be fine. But if you know what you're doing, frankly, you're probably not watching this video. So, wish me luck. I'm really hoping these screws come up a bit nicer than they are at the minute. They do seem to be coming right up straight away. I might do these as well, see what happens. Right, I'll see you in a few minutes, and hopefully the guitar will be restrung, and I'll have done this on all the screws. Right, so I'm back again. What I've done is I've now, so how well you can see this, I've gone to all those screws, like I say, and I've tried to just bring the surface rust that was on them off them, and they've actually come up quite nicely. They've gone back to their proper screw colour. Haven't spent a long time on it. I might go back to them if it works. I've also done the same with the headstock, putting the strings on. So I've got all strings on it now. I'm going to quickly tune it with my phone acoustically, and then we'll take it back over and see if it works. I'm really excited to see if this has worked. I doubt it has. As I say, this is not an instructional video. I'm just trying to get my old guitar working for fun, and I thought you might be interested. But let's see if everything's back on and everything seems to be in place. So I've lost my switch cover here, but let's see if it works. Right, so back from the workbench. Tried to clean it all up, taking some of the rust off the screws and off the nut heads. The action's quite high on this guitar, but I think it always was, to be perfectly honest with you. Just giving it a quick tune to let the strings settle in with the guitar tuner that I've got on my phone. So just make sure I'm still at E. Not bad. I mean, you know, new strings do take a while to settle. So there we go. So it's an acoustic guitar. It works as an acoustic guitar. Okay, right. Let's plug it in. See what happens. I'm not holding out a great deal, which is why I didn't spend much on strings, but it's buzzing. That's good. Whoa! Whoa! my God, it works. Fantastic. Crikey. The volume's working. That hasn't worked in a long, long time. See what this pickup selector is. So it's the neck pickup. Oh my God, it works well. Go to the bridge. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm really happy with that. Wow, the guitar is back. The Sunn Mustang is back. You know what that says? That's amazing. I can't believe that works because I wasn't expecting it to work, to be perfectly honest. I thought that the guitar was dead, which is why I didn't mind taking it apart, because I thought, well, I can always put it back together, or perhaps even take it to a shop and get someone to set it up. I don't think I would have spent that much money on it at this point because, as I say, this has more sentimental value than anything else to me. But my God, that's amazing. So with a bit of cleaner, contact cleaner, and a bit of patience, it shows that you can bring new life to old instruments that, you know, when the electrics and things aren't working properly in them. So I'd implore you, if something is dead and it has value like this guitar has to me, then it's probably worth having a go at trying to fix it yourself. If you've got any videos, let me know in the links. But this is an important guitar because as I got it in 1992, but I think it was bought from the paper, so it was bought from somebody who had this guitar and it had a life before I ever picked it up. It's the guitar that I first started learning to play on. I learned all my, my basic chords, E, G, D, even B minor, bar chords on this guitar. So this has a lot of sentimental value to me. And without this instrument, I wouldn't play the guitar probably at all. And I probably wouldn't play the piano either because I started with this and then moved on to the piano later. So it's fantastic that this is back and working. Sunn Mustang, I think these types of guitars were made in China to sort of try and replicate the Fender Stratocaster. I don't know the year this was made. It was probably made in the 80s at some point. There's no marking on it at all that tells you when it was made. But I'm guessing that because the Chinese are making these really good copies of the Strat, and I think the fact that it still works today, and just with a bit of cleaning, all the pickups are working properly on it, and it's still very playable, it shows you actually these were really quite well-made guitars for a beginner. I mean, it doesn't feel anything like my real Strat, but it's a good playable guitar, and it's something that I've learned to play on and anybody could learn to play on. And I think that probably Fender must have seen that these guitars are on the market and then have started with their Squire series of guitars to try and rival them, because you don't really see these anymore. I certainly haven't seen a Sunn Mustang guitar in a long, long time. You see the Fender Squire guitars, which are very, very well made and probably actually better made than this. And if you're starting out, they're probably the guitar to buy. But if you see one of these going for cheap, I'd absolutely recommend a Sunn Mustang guitar, because I've had this for 30 years now, and it's still playing as well as the day that I was originally given it. And this little Vox amp served me well as well. I got this Vox amp when I was 21. My mum and dad bought it for me with my Fender Stratocaster, which I'll probably show you in another video. That is in full working order and plays as well, if not better, than the day I originally got it. But yeah, so that's my video on bringing new life to the Sunn Mustang Fender Stratocaster guitar, and I can't believe that's worked. I'm so glad it has. See you next time for another video. This is Michael Gallacher, the Media Preacher, signing off.